Hey guys, Mechanite here. That's right, we're back with another Gloria region video. I told you in the last one I wouldn't keep you waiting as long, and I was telling the truth. But today we've got a bit of an odd episode. Today I'm going to be explaining the 3 methods I found of how to make single stage Pokemon. 2-stage Pokemon, 3-stage Pokemon. They're not as hard to make as single stage Pokemon. And I looked throughout the decks and I saw all the single stage Pokemon kind of fit into 3 categories, and I'll talk to them about you today. Now, I found 3 different methods: the Kangaskhan method, the Absol method, and the Ditto method. First, we're going to talk about the Kangaskhan method. This is kind of the idea where, if you had a pre-evolution, like, let's say, theoretically, there was baby Kangaskhan. That's just what we're going to call it for now, and it is a theoretical pre-evolution of Kangaskhan. You would probably see that early in the game. Maybe not early in the game, maybe like 5th gym at the latest, if it's going to be like as strong as a middle evolution. Like, you will have seen that Pokemon in the wild. However, since Kangaskhan is a single stage Pokemon, no Pokemon evolves from it, no Pokemon evolve into it. It's just got so much more of an imposing presence. Like, when Giovanni sends out his Kangaskhan, you've probably never seen a Kangaskhan before. You don't know the type. You don't know how strong it is. So, like, it can be really good for, like, just an imposing presence. Like, with a single stage Pokemon, you've got more freedom to make them stronger. It's like, if you come across one, it's going to be a lot more, like, awe-inspiring. So, essentially, the Kangaskhan method, you make it a single-stage Pokemon so that it's more imposing. Like, be that on the team or just in the wild, it's kind of that fear of the unknown thing. Like, you've never seen anything like it before, so it, like, breaks up the game, like, because you haven't seen it before. Next up, we've got the... Now, we've got some examples here of the Kangaskhan method. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. A good example, I think, is Aerodactyl. It's a fossil Pokemon, so when you see it, you're going to be surprised, because obviously you haven't seen it in the wild. Spiritomb, another good example. These are kind of the rarer Pokemon here. Another good example being Lapras. So those are 3 examples I found that I think really show off the Kangaskhan method. Next up, we've got the Absol method. Now, think of this like Flamigo, where in an open world game, they kind of just, they're not filler. I'm trying to avoid that in how I explain it. They're the good side of just a Pokemon to fill the Pokédex. Essentially, it makes earlier areas more diverse. Like, if you find a Pokemon like this in an earlier area that you just can't catch yet, you're going to want to backtrack and catch it later. Or, it makes Pokemon, like, routes feel more like actual, like, living, breathing environments, rather than a preset path of just Pokemon. So, like, the Absol method, think about Absol. It's a rare Pokemon. It can almost feel like legendary. Obviously, it's not a legendary, but the fact that all legendary, well, almost all legendaries are single stage, you can really use that to your advantage in making your single stage Pokemon feel legendary and rare and special. And, like, unique. Like, they stand out among other Pokemon. So it just adds ambience, like, adds to the environment, makes the world feel more lived in. With that one. A few good examples. Farfetch'd. Like, Farfetch'd you only get from the trade. It's just, like, it's not a filler Pokemon. It's more just, it adds to the world. It's, like, world building there. Druddigon, another good example of, like, going back. Just a single stage Pokemon. Druddigon also, it fits in with a bit of a Kangaskhan method, I think. And then Tangela, before it got its evolution. Like, that single stage Pokemon. I think the Absol method really encapsulates how you can make a Pokemon a lot more mysterious when it's only got one stage. Lastly, we've got the Ditto method. Now, I think you already saw this coming, but this is basically the category of gimmick Pokemon. Pokemon with unusual concepts. Like, Ditto was originally going to evolve with, I forget what it is, like a metal sheet in Generation 2. But you can't really evolve on what Ditto has. If you change Ditto's design, it don't really matter, you only see it for a second. You can't really make it stronger, because it copies the stats. Like, another example, which I think fits less with this, is Mimikyu. Like, Mimikyu's whole concept is that it copies Pikachu. Like, Mimikyu would never be released in Gen 1, because Pikachu wasn't as popular back then. Like, they didn't know it would be the concept of the franchise. If you had Mimikyu evolve into something else, like, you've already seen it before. If the only concept is, like, if the concept is unique, like, really unique, only fits into that world, it just, you only really, like, want to see it once because it is unique, and evolution kind of takes away from it. Even just Pokemon that would be hard to make an evolution for, like, they already, like, they're at the end of the evolution line or something, or, like, Ditto, Pokemon with novel concepts that would just be, like, a bit just undermining of the Pokemon to add to it. Like, Ditto, obviously, like, Pokemon like that, sometimes you just can add an evolution for. Obviously, I'm not saying if you want to make a gimmick Pokemon, you have to make it a single-stage Pokemon. Do whatever you want. Like, go the Rockruff method and make it so the first Pokemon doesn't have it and the second Pokemon does have it. Like, that really worked. But if you want the gimmick to be the main focus, I think a single-stage Pokemon is probably just your best bet. A few examples of this is Ice-Q, obviously. Chatot. Like, those two, they could have pre-evolutions and evolutions. It's not that they can't, it's that they're better off without them. Lastly, Mimikyu, who I've talked about. Now that we've covered the 3 ways to make single-stage Pokemon, I think it's time I got onto my own original Pokemon for the Gloria region. If you just came on here to see how single-stage Pokemon are made, I think you should stick around, because these are some good examples of how you should make your own. These ones I'm going to go a bit with the Kangaskhan method, a bit with the Absol method. This first one I think is going to be a bit more Absol method, the second one a bit more Kangaskhan. But they both kind of go between the two. Because, like, with single stage Pokemon, I'm not saying it has to be, like, strictly one of these categories. You can mix and match. Have a gimmick Pokemon that you only see late in the game. And, like, the gimmick is something really unexpected or something. I'm not, again, like, this isn't me telling you what you can do with your single-stage Pokemon. Go wild. This is just me saying, like, how you can make them better. Rules are made to be broken. Anyway, let's go on to our first Pokemon, which is, well, actually, again, I'm getting ahead of myself. But there is one other thing single-stage Pokemon can do. I know, I'm rushing myself. I really want to get to my own Pokemon. But think about Megas and Gigantamax. If you have them in your concept, and your, like, favourite Pokemon from your concept, a really popular Pokemon, is a single stage, and you really want to add to them, but you think an evolution would undermine them, give them a Gigantamax or a Mega form. That's more like adding on rather than evolving the concept. So I think it works better. Now, in my personal region, I have got Gigantamax, but I'm happy enough with the 2 Pokemon I've made already, just to have them be regular Pokemon. Anyway, you've all been waiting. I keep getting ahead of myself. This is Spyrus, a grass fighting type. Their name comes from Might, Spy, and Virus. Now, the idea behind them is, they're based on a skin mite. One of them tiny little animals that lives on you and eats, like, the excess oil and dead skin from your hair. Now, I think, if you think about it, it's kind of gross. So this Pokemon, it's kind of based on, like, the villainization of bacteria. Because, like, your body, like something like 60% of the cells in your body is bacteria. But, like, it's not bad bacteria. A lot of it actually, like, helps you. So it's based on, like, the negative implications of bacteria and how people don't really see them as helpful when they are. It's also based on, like, so I added in that, like, classic villain move, putting the hands together, like, a bit of a scheming villain kind of look. And it's also based on, like, 1% of your body is, like, fungi and things that, like, eat dead skin and stuff. And, like, a lot of people don't know that, so that's why I combined it with, like, spy and stuff. Because, like, it's undercover in your skin and you don't really notice it. Like, a lot of your body functions. Like, breathing, like, you don't think about how you breathe all the time. So that's kind of the idea, how your body has so many things working behind the scenes that we just don't recognise. Here's Nakus, a ground electric type, and there are other single stage Pokemon that I've made. There's no relation between these two, but this one I feel like is definitely more of a Kangaskhan type. They're based on naked mole rats, which, yes, we finally getting a Pokemon for them. We've been waiting ages. Now, I combined that idea with that of the naked mole rat. Oh, no, I've already said that. My brain's not working today. I combined the idea of the naked mole rat with that of the star-nosed mole, as you can see from the nose and the tongue, and with that of the nervous system. I think that's a weird concept, but let me explain. Ground electric makes sense. Naked mole rat for the ground, nervous system for the electric. Their name comes from naked and nervous. But the idea is, naked mole rats, they're kind of like bees, where they've got like a queen and then soldiers and workers and stuff. And I just really liked that idea. And there's that thing where, with caste systems like that, you're going to have some offshoot where it's like a parasite. So, and with your nervous system, you got your brain in charge, which is kind of like the queen, and all the underlings are all your nerves and stuff. So, it's a bit of a weird combination, but I think it makes sense nonetheless. And then I combined that with, like, common alien tropes. Think your xenomorphs. Like, a lot of alien sci-fi tropes of, like, a hive mind alien or like a caste system alien. Like, think about xenomorphs, you got xenomorph queens and stuff like that. So it's kind of just alien, those stereotypes and stuff of like sci-fi tropes. So I really just wanted to combine them, and I think this is definitely, I did really well in making it an imposing presence. Here are their shinies. For Spyrus, I gave it a like darker colours, obviously. Like, the blue would help it camouflage in nighttime, give it more of that spy motif. And for Nakus, I reference a Blue Brain project, which is like this project to build an entirely artificial brain, like all the nerves and everything. Also, the nerves, like electric, often seen as a blue type, like a blue thing. And your nerves are often like stereotypically said as blue, so you know. You might have noticed I gave Nakus tentacles there to make the nervous system, because the nervous system is really like the stretchy, stringy, like tendrily thing, so I just wanted to add them. And then I made them purple just because it's like that classic alien colour. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Hope you figured out some nice ways to make single stage Pokemon.